Oh, I think I just fixed it.
Okay.
There was a button that was pressed.
Needed?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
30 back.
I think so.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. There was something wrong with the audio on the screen, but I think Maddie just figured it out. Okay, let's start with this.
Oh, I think I just fixed it. Oh, there's a button that was pressed. I think so, yeah. Nope,
8,
that's not.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Lockton. The pitch from Cashel inside ball 2.
Home half of the third coming up here on BN Sports. FAU clinging to a 1-run lead over the Blazers of FAU. Emily Cachel out for her third inning of work.
Cachel actually has 5 strikeouts in this game. She had 6 in the game right before this, so she's just one off. She's cruising right along, even though the score doesn't really reflect it.
Well, to Cachel's credit, she's really only thrown one mistake pitch where she really missed her spot. Unfortunately for her, Mia Olson made her pay for it. As the catcher, Alex Miller, the 9-hole hitter, steps in, tries to get a bunt down to start, but fouls it back. Miller, the senior catcher, hitting .264 on the year. That translates to 39 hits and 148 at-bats thus far. Does have 5 extra base hits. She gets this one kind of a jam shot over to second base. Easy play for Petrie for the first out. And that brings in Emily Lockton, the shortstop, a strikeout victim back in the first. Very probably the most dangerous hitter on this FAU roster. Hitting .355 coming into this one. 12 home runs, 32 driven in. She sends this one high in the air out towards center field, running out of room. Can't make the catch. That ball is out of here. A solo shot. Emily Lockton. FAU takes the 2-0 lead.
Locked and loaded.
That is the rally cry for the FAU fans when she comes up to bat. Locked and loaded for Emily Lockton. As we take a look at this replay, you'll see why. Gets under that ball, pops it up in the air, and it just keeps on carrying. I don't think England really got a good beat on that ball. She couldn't really see it because she couldn't get her glove on it. That ball was not very deep to the wall. Barely cleared it, and she could have had a chance to get a glove on that, I think, if she'd seen it better. But instead, it is a solo shot. Second solo shot, just the third hit for the Owls. But they'll take them how they can get them. They now lead it 2-0. Madison Palmer stands in now. She was also a strikeout victim her first time up in the first inning. So we'll see how Cachel will respond to giving up home runs in back-to-back innings. She needs to buckle down. You got to think, too, Cachel just a freshman, so the nerves might be starting to get to her a little bit. As undoubtedly, this is the biggest game that she has pitched in her college career. Everything on the line tonight. Win or go home. So that one misses outside and a little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dottridge Stadium here in Charlotte already a hitter's ballpark as it is, but we are in game number 9, and we have seen 12 home runs for the tournament so far. The ball is jumping off the bat. And the way they're swinging them today, wouldn't be surprised if 12 is not where we finish for home run count. That one just misses the appeal down. Did she go? No, says the third base umpire. So the count is full, 3-2. 1 gone and 1 across already here in the third for FAU. That one misses low. And that should be ball 4. Not sure what the holdup is. I think it's Palmer forgot the count and didn't know that she had ball 4. So now she takes first, as she's supposed to. And the fastest base runner for the Owls is now aboard, as just as soon as she ties her shoe. Very important for an avid base stealer, Conference USA's leading base stealer, to have her shoes laced up.
Could be disastrous if they're not tied.
You see the smile there from Samantha Leger as she steps in. Happy to see that her teammate has the proper equipment now for base running. Leger tried to duck out of the way as if that one was too far inside, but it was right on the inner half. Called strike. We'll keep an eye on Palmer at first to see if she tries to make a run for it. Leger takes 1 ball, 1 strike. Leger struck out to end the bottom half of the first. A swinging strikeout for her. Off goes Palmer for second. She slides in. She's out of there. Garcia guns her down, and she is fired up behind the plate. How about that pop? You do not catch Madison Palmer stealing very often. But Garcia had her gun down. Let's take a look at this replay. What a pop behind the plate and an absolutely perfect strike down to second. Irwin able to get that glove down, didn't even really have to move it. As soon as Irwin caught it, the tag was already applied. So Palmer is caught stealing for the second out. And now the bases are empty with 2 strikes to Leger. She just gets a piece of that one, fouls it back. Always a big confidence booster for not only your defense, but for the whole team to get an out on the base paths, especially a big second out. Called strike 3, 6th K of the day for Kachel. But FAU gets another one on the board with the solo shot. They lead it 2-0. Coach, joined now by Coach Joan Joyce from FAU. And Coach, taking a look at the scoreboard here, 2-0 the lead for you. Talk about getting that long ball, 2 solo shots, and how it's been able to propel you.
Well, every once in a while we do show up with a long ball. You know, we're probably not known as a long ball hitting team, but we've got some kids on the team that can hit it. And Mia on the mound is doing pretty well so far.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth for the next question. Talk about what you've seen from Olsen so far. She's really hanging tough in there and keeping you in the ball game along with those home runs.
Yeah, exactly. But we got the rest of the staff all ready to go in case we need it.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Wish you the best of luck on the rest of the game.
Thank you.
That's head coach Joan Joyce from FAU in her 24th season. We mentioned it a few broadcasts earlier. She is a member of 11 different Hall of Fames. And that's just incredible in and of itself. But 24 years at a single school, can't beat that. As Rachel Rogers stands in and takes a called strike. Rogers 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to shortstop her first time up. She swings and grounds that one foul over towards the FAU dugout. Quickly down. one in the dirt. Pretty easy to lay off that one. So that
Joe-
one only went about 46 feet, or excuse me, 45 feet of the 46 it needs to.
Y'all gonna beat her pitch. 1-8, beat her pitch.
Joe, you were talking about Joan Joyce and how successful she's been. You know, there's a reason FAU is always so good and so consistent at pitching. She was a great pitcher herself, so that ball doesn't fall far.
That one's in there. Called strike 3. And Rogers is set down. First K of the day for Olson. And that is how we start the top half of inning number 4. In steps the right fielder, Sarah Crawford. She's got a single to her credit thus far. She needs to start a rally here as that one's on the ground to locked in at short. Fires on to first, plenty of time. And just one pitch is all Olson needs to get out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. So in steps Cooper now. She came in to pinch run and then stayed in the game. She takes a called strike to start the at-bat. Claire Blount, originally the designated player, got a single and then was subbed out for the runner. Head coach Amanda Ellis, who we will talk to, going into the start of the bottom of the 4th inning, decided to leave Cooper in the ball game to see a few pitches. That one hit in the air into center field, a base hit for Cooper. So Coach Ellis's gamble to leave her in pays off with a base hit. And can the Blazers spark a little 2-out rally here? Try and get back in this ball game.
Prater comes back up, and last time, Joe, she was completely robbed. That was an unbelievable play still.
And you're right, she hit one out to deep center field. And were it not for a leaping grab from Madison Palmer, she would have had a 3-run bomb. Takes that one low and outside, 2-0.
We can say it was Angels in the outfield caliber. I'd go with that.
Certainly worthy of a web gem. That one's in there on the outer half. 2-1. I'd even nominate it for probably, we've seen quite a few good defensive plays throughout this tournament, but given the gravity of this game and what that one meant, taking away a 3-run home run, I'm going to nominate that one for best defensive play of the game. If anyone wants to take that up with me after the game, happy to talk it out. That one's in there, called strike 2, and the count is full.
I don't think I'll argue you. That might be my top play as well. There was a few last game that were pretty good, but that one, like you said, the significance was just...
Swing and a miss, strike 3, that'll do it for the top half of the 4th. UAB turned away again. FAU heads to the bottom of the 4th, still leading it 2-0 here on BN Sports. We're back here on BN Sports. You see there a little UAB Blazer puppet in the dugout, and we'll take a moment to talk to head coach Amanda Ellis. And Coach, what have you seen so far from Kachel out in the circle? Just a few mistakes, but overall, pretty good game for her so far.
Yeah, you know, honestly, she's mixing up speeds pretty well, giving them, you know, different locations to look for. Just, you know, like you said, just those kind of 2 miss spots kind of put us in a hole.
And on the flip side of that, your offense, what can you guys do? You're putting some runners on base. What can you do to scratch a few across and get back into this one?
Well, we've got to string these hits together. I think that, you know, we're getting people on. We got to be a little bit more disciplined at the plate and, you know, put them together.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's head coach Amanda Ellis from the UAB Blazers talking to us there. As her team heads back out to the field, Emily Kachel back in the circle. She's got to try and hold FAU right here. Try and keep this lead at just 2-0. Meanwhile, FAU a chance to scratch some important insurance runs across. We've seen it. No lead is safe in this tournament. FAU would know that better than just about anybody. They were up 4-0 on Middle Tennessee going into the top half of the 5th inning. They did not win that ball game. They ended up losing it 7-5. So if anybody is going to be ready to protect a lead, it's them.
And on the flip side of that, they were down in the game yesterday against Louisiana Tech. If I'm not mistaken, they were down by 4.
You are correct. They were down 4-0 going into the 6th inning, scored 7 runs in that 6th inning, came back and got the victory. Not only shows you what FAU knows about comebacks, but really just what a crazy and exciting tournament it has been all week. The folks here in the stands have certainly got their money's worth for their tickets. We've seen home runs, amazing defense, a no-hitter from Middle Tennessee's starting pitcher Jennings. And that is a called strike 3. Buckley is punched out. Second time today she's been sat down on strikes. And that will bring in the pitcher, Mia Olson.
Laughing over here, Sarah Crawford, who has now, I guess, became the designated player, is over here dancing with, sharing a smile with Raina Cooper, who's playing in right field.
And Olson takes low. Probably not too hard to remember what she did last time up. Back in the 2nd inning, she sent an absolute moonshot right over the word Dottridge in Dottridge Stadium out on the left center field wall that bounced in the road and across the street to the baseball stadium. She's quickly ahead 2-0 as that one's below the knees. She needs to try to replicate that success. Every run critical, as we've still got a ton of softball to play here. As this one is hit out to center field, no doubt about it, it's over the batter's eye and gone.
It's like you're a fortune teller, Joe.
Back-to-back home runs in as many at-bats for Mia Olson. She gives the Owls a 3-0 lead. So she's pitching a shutout, and she's got 2 runs by herself. You see here on the replay. Oh, and Kachel really just missed her spot there. Garcia wanted that one a little further in. Kachel put it a little further outside. And Olson hit that one maybe even farther than she hit her first one.
Her first one to right field, that one definitely almost went to dead center. That one was probably still rolling.
It was a little bit left of it, but I think had it been more straight on, that one would have still cleared the Sue M. Dottridge sign up over the batter's eye. That was a moonshot. You can say this for Mia Olson. She has not been cheated on her home runs today. As I mentioned earlier, 12 home runs did not stand as our final total. We're at 13 now for the tournament. With the championship game tomorrow between Middle Tennessee and the winner of this ball game, 13 may not be enough.
You know, you don't want to count out UAB, though. last game they were down, and then they scored 4 in 1 inning. Actually, they got a homer as well. Their first baseman, Rogers, belted one. So, like you said, a lot of softball left to play, and it's been a crazy tournament.
A pitch to Witt, swung on and missed, strike 2. So Cashel needs to settle back in here. You have to wonder now, down 3-0, how short is the leash on Cashel? No action in the UAB bullpen at the moment. So that one misses high, and the count is full. Have to imagine head coach Amanda Ellis will start to think about going to her bullpen before too long. Because if you're UAB, you're down to your final 3 innings to try to make something happen. You have not been able to string many hits together of late.
It's like you said earlier, Cagel's just letting a few just hang over the plate a little too perfectly for FAU, but she's really thrown a terrific game otherwise.
And a tough spot for a freshman to come in. An elimination game in the tournament, a championship game berth on the line. That one's in the dirt, ball 4. Witt takes first base. And 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Now some action gonna get up in the UAB bullpen. Had to imagine that was coming.
I think you're like 3 for 3 on your predictions today, Joe.
Sometimes you just know. So that one is fouled off over towards the dugout. I believe that is Claire Blount, a sophomore pitcher who went over. As that one is sent into the dugout for FAU, that actually hit Emily Lockton. That was a line shot that bounced off the thigh of Lockton. She's laughing and smiling, but I bet that hurt. That ran in and got her. You can see her there. She's trying to walk it off, but went right where that netting isn't. Probably lucky, actually, that got Lockton instead of head coach Joan Joyce, who is sitting there and had to duck out of the way of that one. Never want to hit your coach with a foul ball. I'm sure Lockton will have some words for Duffner when they get back to the dugout together. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Duffner, the second baseman for FAU. 0 for 1 with a fly out to left so far in the ball game. That one is sent into the gap in right center field. That's going to one-hop the wall. Duffner digging for second. Digging around third is Witt. The throw home way over the head of Garcia. She is in to score. FAU leads it 4-0. We'll take a look at the replay here. She got every bit of that pitch. Duffner sent it out to the wall. She was easily going to pull into second. The relay throw to home was way over the head of Garcia, which allowed Duffner to take third. So credit her with a double and an advance on the throw. And more importantly, another big insurance run home for the Owls, which will prompt the meeting in the circle. And I wonder if this will be the day for Cashel. Seen some really good ABs here from the Owls. Obviously, anytime you hit a home run, it's a good AB. That was Olsen, but then A great job from Witt to work the count full and then draw the walk to be able to come in to score on the RBI double from Kelsey Morrison, who squared up a pitch up in the zone right into the gap in right center field.
Duffner found the perfect gap on that. That was kind of right where you want it. If you want to bring some people home, give the outfielder some trouble.
And that will be the day for Kachel, as Blount is heading out towards the circle, and she will take the ball from her. So Kachel gives up 4 runs on 5 hits, all of them earned. And her day not technically done. She's still responsible for the runner out there at third base. That's Duffner. So Blount comes into the circle now, trying to hold FAU right where they're at 4-0. She looks like she's ready to go. She'll have to face the designated player in Kelsey Morrison. Coming into the day, Blount, a 3.14 ERA, 8 wins and 13 losses. She is making her 38th appearance of the season in the circle for the Blazers. Probably none bigger than this one. She finds herself coming in a not very favorable situation with a runner 60 feet away from scoring and only 1 out on the board. So it'll be the responsibility of Morrison, the designated player, to bring in that 5th run. She goes swinging at the first pitch, just gets a piece of it and fouls it back. This will be the second at bat of the ball game for Morrison. She struck out looking to end the second inning. So Blount comes set, delivers the off speed, misses. Ball 1. That one is driven off the glove of the shortstop, Irwin, into left field. A base hit. The run comes in to score. FAU leads it 5-0.
FAU bats are really starting to wake up right now. And
well, we've said it all week long as you take a look here at the replay. Hitting is contagious. Got to credit Irwin. She really went up, nearly made that play, just couldn't quite get enough of the leather on it. And that will bring in Alex Miller, who hits one up the middle, step on first for 1, on to second, from second on to first for 2. And that will do it on the double play. Bottom of the 4th is over, but FAU leads it 5-0. You're watching 2018 Conference USA Softball Championship on BN Sports. 5-0 our score as we head to the top half of the 5th inning, but still anyone's ball game as UAB will look to rally. And Katie, you were telling me they've got a piece of equipment in their dugout for just such an occasion.
They do. One of the seniors, Michaela Hayes, I noticed it yesterday. I noticed it in the game earlier. She's got a cape and she's got like a dragon puppet that she was using, and didn't help him yesterday, but it certainly helped him in the first game today. And it was funny. Davis actually had the cape on, had to take it off to go pinch run, and then when she scored, she had went and put it back on. It was really cool. It's the rally cape.
Well, they'll need that magic here as we head to the top of the 5th inning. First pitch of the inning in the dirt for a ball. As Molly Garcia, the catcher, stands in. Takes low again, ball 2. Fans at home got a chance to look at the rally, I guess we'll call it the rally puppet. The little green and yellow dragon. We've seen it a few times throughout the day too, as they were fond of dancing with it in the background of Amanda Ellis's interviews in between the innings. I gotta say, for those interviews, those have just been a really cool feature here on BN. Getting to talk to the coaches and get their insight. The coaches have been very gracious to let us do those interviews. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Garcia. Getting to hear it straight from the coach's mouth, what they're thinking during the ball game. So Garcia down to her last strike. She takes outside, maybe a little up in the zone as well. Count runs full. No runs on 4 hits for the Blazers, 5 runs on 6 hits for the Owls. That one on the ground to Lockton, fires onto first in plenty of time, 1 gone. So Garcia is set down on the 6-3 putout, and that will bring in Ashton Clem. Clem 1 for 1 on the day. She had a single back in the 3rd inning. But you heard Coach Ellis say it when we interviewed her going into the bottom of the 4th inning. UAB needs to find a way to string hits together. You don't have to get the 5 runs back at once. You just need to start chipping away. But you need to start sooner rather than later as the innings get shorter and shorter. So that one's low, 2 balls, no strikes. Interesting, too, here, Katie, to contend with. We noticed this back on day 1 when we had 4 games. That sun starts to set almost parallel with the 3rd baseline. And that is really tough for the fielders to try to contend with, as they're almost staring into the sun, trying to field grounders and line drives.
It would just be like, you know, you're playing the outfield, losing the ball and up in the lights. It's just, I guess, you know, something you got to adapt and kind of learn to work with. But sort of unfortunate timing because it's the way the sun is setting and you never know which way it's going to.
Well, unfortunately for these fielders, you just got to work with the sun. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Maybe you'll get lucky and a cloud will go overhead, as that one's in for a strike. 3-2 now the count. On the 9-hole hitter for UAB. Give credit to Mia Olson. We talked about her, what she's done in the batter's box with the 2 solo shot home runs. But give her credit in the circle as well. A 4-hit shutout thus far through 4 1/3 innings. I said Buckley has started every game for FAU thus far. But Olson has done her proud, although she misses there as I go to compliment her. And Clem walks. So a base runner aboard here in inning number 5. Now can UAB advance her along and try and get her into scoring position? It'll be the job of the leadoff hitter, Destiny England, who is 0 for 2 on the day and would love nothing more to erase that 0 for with a big hit into the gap. She goes swinging after the first pitch, flipped to second for 1, on to first in time, double play, inning over. The FAU defense comes up big again. So that will do it in the top half of the fifth. FAU will come up to bat looking for some more insurance. They lead it 5-0 here on BN Sports. See a beautiful evening here on the campus of UNC Charlotte in Charlotte, North Carolina. Picture perfect. Things looking picture perfect right now for the FAU Owls as well. You see there they currently lead UAB in this winner-take-all game 5-0. Emily Lockton leads things off at the top of the batting order for FAU. An important inning for Claire Blount, the pitcher for UAB, has to hold FAU here as they have just 6 outs left to play with. Lockton last time up, a solo shot to dead center field. At the time, it was the second run of the ball game for FAU. They've since tacked on a few more. She was also big in turning that inning-ending double play in the top half of the fifth. So she's done it with the bat. She's done it with the leather.
I said it earlier. She's one of the best infielders I've seen covering softball. She's so quick to turn it. She's confident. She makes the plays.
That one on the ground to Irwin at short. Fires to first. Plenty of time. Lockton retired. So a quick first out for UAB, exactly what Blount needed. Let's see if that gives her a little bit of confidence to get out of this one unscathed and give her offense a chance to get her back into the ballgame.
She's going to want to pinch carefully to this next batter for FAU because if Palmer gets on, that's trouble. She is quick, she is fast, and she will threaten.
We've seen her try to steal a base already today in Palmer, but she was gunned down by the strong arm of the catcher Garcia for UAB. Palmer is 0 for 1 on the day. A strikeout in the first and a walk back in the third. I mentioned she was retired on the caught stealing. Chops this one on the ground right back to Blount, sticks her glove out and gets the play at first. 2 quick outs now for the Blazers, exactly what the doctor ordered. And now it'll be up to Samantha Legere, the right fielder, to try and extend the inning for FAU and make Blount work at least a little harder to get out of it. Legere, 0 for 2, back-to-back strikeouts for her. First one swinging, the second one looking. Something she'd very much like to rectify here if she can. This would be the first 1-2-3 inning for UAB since the bottom of the first, if they can get Legere here. One and one now the count on Legere. Blount comes set. Winds and delivers. Chopped on the ground to third. And that's going to be foul. I think that actually got her coming out of the box. She's kind of limping. Maybe the foot or the shin. The first base umpire saying he didn't see it hit her foot, so instead that's going to be an out. And we will go to the top half of the 6th. We will not go to break. We're staying here for this one. FAU leading UAB 5-0. And for UAB now, they've got 6 outs left to play with. They've got to make the most of every single one of them. We've seen big comebacks in this tournament. But a game with this magnitude, nothing's going to come easy. Everything's going to have to be earned for UAB. Just 4 hits on the day. Haven't been really able to string anything together. They had 2 hits in the second, 1 hit in the third, and 1 hit in the fourth. And 1 hit per inning is not going to get it done for you. Would imagine we'll see Mia Olson come back out to the circle for FAU. Why not? She's been pitching a gem thus far. And Katie, that's pretty big for FAU if they can get this win with Olson in the circle, rest Buckley for 1 more game, and then potentially save her for a championship meeting with Middle Tennessee tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty critical, and it could pay off huge for him. As you know, Middle Tennessee, their arms are probably a little tired. Jennings for them has thrown a lot of innings, and she's been very successful and very good. But if you bring Buckley in, she threw the game earlier, but she's got a whole game right now, and then she'll have tonight. So that could lead to some interesting situations tomorrow.
When you said an important name there, Corey Jennings, most likely whomever turns out to win this game, whether it is FAU holding on or if UAB can rally, will probably have to face Corey Jennings. And she's had some time to go back to her hotel room, get some ice on her left arm, and rest up. She threw the 3rd no-hitter in conference tournament history for Conference USA back on Wednesday night in the nightcap.
After she had thrown a 2-hit shutout earlier in the day, so she was on fire and on target.
So Olson ready to get things going here in the top half of the 6th, and they get going with a bang. That one's out to right field, off the top of the wall, bounces over. It's out of here. Natalie Irwin with the solo shot gets UAB on the board.
And Joe, look what's at home plate. Look what's at home plate.
You're right, it's the rally cape out in full force. UAB cuts into the deficit. It's now 5-1. Take a look at the replay here. First pitch swinging is Irwin. Watch this, bounces off the top of the fence. I've been calling games here at Daughtry Stadium for a while. I have never seen a ball actually hit the top of the fence and then bounce over for a home run. About as close to a double as you can come while still getting a home run.
Looks like the bounce kind of gave it some momentum because then it went over the bushes instead of in them.
That one on the ground nearly took one of the cameramen out with it. One of the guys shooting photographs over there. Home run number 14 for the tournament. 9 games, 14 home runs. Maybe it's something in the water here in Charlotte, but people are certainly swinging for the fences. Petrie getting a quick word from her head coach. Coach Ellis giving her what she wants to say. Petrie preparing to step back in. Petrie out on a fielder's choice to end the 3rd inning, her last time up. And a big spot for her here. 1 run already crossed in the inning. Need to find a way to get on base. More than anything, UAB just needs base runners.
Joe, when you look at the line score, really the only difference, I mean, it's 5 hits to 6, but the difference is FAU has gotten timely hitting to the gap consecutively, and UABs have been really scattered.
Not to mention 3 of those 5 hits for FAU being solo shots. You talk about timely hitting, never a bad time for a solo shot. Two and two now the count. on the 3-hole hitter for the Blazers. Clouds starting to come back here at Dottridge Stadium, cooling us off a little bit, but more importantly, going to help the fielders out a little bit. The off-speed pitch chopped over to short. The throw on to first took her off the bag. Lockton's throw was high. Witt couldn't keep her cleats down. And Petrie is aboard. See what they give him there. That's going to go as a throwing error on Lockton. I had a feeling it might because I thought the throw was going to beat her. Doesn't matter if it's a hit, an error, whatever. For UAB, you just need base runners. You see it on the replay there. A nice shot from our cameras to show you the cleat coming up off of first base. Lockton just needed to set her feet and control it a little more, but tough with Petrie hustling down first. That will bring in Rachel Rogers, the cleanup hitter. She hits this one in the air. Lockton gloves it over to first. Not in time. But Lockton records an out to try to make up for that error. One away here in the bottom half of the sixth. Or excuse me, in the top half of the sixth. Right fielder Sarah Crawford stands in now. Trying to move the runner along. She's first pitch swinging out into center field at the warning track. Palmer makes the catch. And Crawford just missed a 2-run shot.
And Joe, Mia Olson helped out her case by hitting 2 homers. So we've got Claire Blount coming up. Can she help out her case? Can she jack a 2-run shot here?
Blount re-enters the game. She was originally the designated player. Raina Cooper came in to pinch run for her, stayed in the game. But then once Cooper re-entered as the pitcher, Blount was able to re-enter as the pitcher, and she just decided to stay in the game. Coach Ellis decided to have her hit again. She takes a called strike on the outer half. Good looking pitch there from Olson. The count 1-1 now. If FAU is able to hold on, I think pretty easy to pick Mia Olson as your MVP, as that one's on the ground to second. Throw on to first in time. And that's 3 outs. UAB goes down. They get 1 back on the home run from Irwin, but they'll need some more as they trail it 5-0 here on BN Sports. 5-1. Bless my heart. I said 5-0. Bless my heart, it's 5-1. You see it there on the scoreboard. 5-1 our score. FAU in control of this one. And they've got a chance here in the bottom of the sixth to try and get the run back they gave up in the top of the sixth. 3 home runs for FAU, all of them solo shots. 1 home run for UAB to give them their 1 run. And it has been the story of the long ball here in this one. As Blount returns to the circle for UAB. She'll face Tatum Buckley to lead things off here in the bottom half of the sixth. Buckley 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, something she'd certainly like to correct if she can. Have to imagine Buckley, if FAU can hold on to win, would be the starter tomorrow in the championship game. That'll take place tomorrow at noon here at Dottridge Stadium. Middle Tennessee has already punched their ticket to the final game. They're our Cinderella story coming from the 6th seed all the way to the championship. And what's even more amazing, Katie, for Middle Tennessee. It's that this is their first ever trip to the Conference USA Championships for softball, and they are making it count in a big way.
I'll tell you, Joe, they are playing hot. They came in, they have nothing to lose, and they've got all the confidence right now. And like I said earlier, if they didn't get it with their hitting, they had it with their pitching. They're playing on both sides of the ball, and it was paying off for them.
0-2 on Buckley here. She swings and hits that on the ground towards third, right between the legs of her third base coach, actually. And what a fantastic matchup that would be tomorrow between either of these two teams, whether it's UAB coming back or FAU holding on. Getting to play Middle Tennessee again. Both teams have an L on their record, both of them with the L on their record from Middle Tennessee. As Buckley is down on strikes for the third time tonight. First out of the inning, and an important one for UAB. And so far the MVP of our game, Olsen, steps in. 2 at-bats, both of them solo shots to deep left center. Not to mention, she's got a 5-hit, 1-run ball game going in the circle. Pitch here to Olsen on the ground, over to third. Easy play for Clem, 2 away. So regardless of what FAU does here with 2 outs now, it'll be a big spot in the top of the 7th for UAB to try to come back. At best, they'll need 4 runs to keep the game alive. But FAU still at the plate here, as it's Lauren Witt standing in now. She has yet to be retired. A single in her first at bat in the second, a walk in the fourth. So the Blazers will certainly have their work cut out for them and their rally cape and or rally puppet. That one's in the air, over towards the press box and off the top of the FAU dugout.
Maybe they should put the cape on the puppet.
At this point, try anything. We've seen stranger things here this year, that's for sure. We've certainly seen 4-run deficits overcome. In fact, we've seen it today.
Twice,
That's a called strike, close pitch. But FAU is down to their last strike of the 6th inning. Big pitch coming here from Blount. Out in front of that one, on the ground to first. Rogers steps on the bag, and that will do it for the 6th inning. When we come back, UAB's got a chance, but they're going to need a pretty big rally. They're down 4 as we head to the 7th here on BN Sports. Welcome back here on BN Sports, top of inning number 7. This could do it unless UAB is able to score 4 runs in this inning. But, Katie, that's not as far-fetched as some fans might think.
They did it last game. They were down 2, came up, scored 4. Actually, the lady coming to the plate was a big part of that. She hit a homer. So, you know, the Magic could still be there.
Coming up to the plate. This is Rachel Rogers, the first baseman, coming up. And a big spot for her here. She needs to get on base. That one's coming right over towards us. And that was actually, we've got 9 games in. That is the first ball that actually came close to hitting us here on our perch over on the first base line. Just so everyone at home is aware, I was ready to make the play on it, but it was a little out of my reach.
His hand was extended, I will vouch.
Swing and a miss. And down to her last strike. Correction, this is actually Caitlin sidestepping in. I saw the 19 looked like an 18. So Sides is now down to her last strike. She takes outside 2-2. The 2-2 hit pitch from Olsen. Up in the air, might be a play for the catcher, and Miller's got it. UAB's down to their final 2 outs. Molly Garcia, the catcher, stands in now. Needing to come through for UAB. Got to put runners on base any way you can. Let's take a look at this replay here. Up in the air. Miller had to go a little ways to get to it, but she's able to get it right there in front of the CUSA painted into the grass. An important out there for FAU because, as you know, Katie, the last 3 outs are always the hardest ones to get.
You've got UAB fighting for their last breath, and you've got, especially like Garcia, she's a senior, and these other veterans, they don't want to go home. They don't want to hang up their cleats just yet.
You got that right. They'd like to see a few more, at least one more game in the 2018 season, but they've got some work to do and a bit of a hill to climb before we get there. They trail at 5-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. As that one is hit out towards center field, Palmer settling on the track. She's got it. 1 run away from setting up our championship matchup tomorrow. It'll be the responsibility of the 9-spot hitter. Was going to say Ashton Clem, but instead it's going to be Megan Smith, the senior, is going to pinch hit for Clem. So with 2 outs and a 4-run deficit, head coach Amanda Ellis is turning to the senior off the bench in Megan Smith. So can Smith keep the game alive? She takes a called strike from Olsen to start the at-bat, 0-1. Olsen delivers. This one's in the air, out towards left field. This should do it. There it is, out number 3. Our championship matchup is set. It'll be the number 1 seeded FAU Owls against the number 6 seeded Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. And how about that performance in the circle from Mia Olsen? She was on fire. She had 2 home runs from the plate. FAU hits 3 home runs in the ball game. Just too much offense for UAB to match, but still a commendable tournament for UAB. They played very well, but it is FAU who will advance. Coming up in just a minute, we'll send it down to Maddie Morris. She'll be with head coach Joan Joyce momentarily.
Joe, this is not the last of the UAB team. They've got a lot of talent coming back, so they're just getting started. They'll be back.
So after 9 innings, after 9 games through this tournament, we are down to just 2 teams left standing. It is FAU and it is Middle Tennessee. It looks like we're just about ready to send it down to Maddie Morris. She's standing by with head coach Joan Joyce.
Okay, Coach, you know, big game for Mia Olson, both on the mound and at the bat. What do you have to say about her performance today?
They were all unbelievable today. They, you know, we had a tough game this afternoon, and we played very well. You know, just gave up the one home run, which we have a tendency to do sometimes. But in this game, we took care of the home runs, so that was really nice.
Now, this will be your guys' third Conference USA championship appearance in 4 years. How was this team different than those previous years?
Well, all my teams are good. This team just does not give up. I mean, they just fight, but, you know, a lot of my teams do that. You know, I think it's, you know, a little bit of my personality, you know, that I get after them, you know, when things aren't going very well. But I think a lot of it is, you know, they just don't give up. They don't want to lose, you know, and, you know, we have just a decent pitching staff, okay? I mean, it's not great, but I'll tell you what, they're awesome.
I know you're in charge of the pitching, so don't sell yourself short. But we will see you tomorrow, Coach. Congratulations.
Okay,
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Coach. And there you have it. Once again, your final score is 5-1. FAU knocks off UAB, and they will play in tomorrow's championship game, which starts at noon against Middle Tennessee. For Katie Smith, I'm Joe Prozek saying so long from Sue M. Dottridge Stadium here in Charlotte. Stay tuned. Coming up next, The Extra here on BN Sports. Thank you for watching the Conference USA's 2018 Softball Championship on BN Sports.